So everybody kind of knows that American Silver Eagles might not be the best option for stacking silver in 2022, but that begs the question, what is the best option? What am I stacking this year? What might you want to stack as well? And what did I stop stacking after 2021? And oh yeah, stick around because during today's video, we are going to be giving away a 1 ounce Beskar bar in celebration of Silver Forever crossing 3,000 subscribers in our first year alone. So sit back, relax, maybe have a cup of coffee in a sweet mug like this one from Stackers University. Give it a salivate metal sip. And let's just jump into it. So I'm a numbers guy, right? And I started breaking down what are the differences in the cost and the buyback price for various silver items, because I'm assuming that it makes the most sense to determine your purchasing decisions based on the math. Of course, there are going to be differences in prices when you buy and when you sell, especially if you're selling to a local coin shop, for instance, or in a private sale market. You can often recoup a lot more of your premium if you are selling privately in a peer-to-peer sale, but there's so much more work that goes into something like that. Do you have a reputation? Are you a trusted seller? Do you have trusted buyers who aren't going to rip you off in some PayPal scheme? Or do you just want the ease of running down the road to the local coin shop, selling it over the counter, maybe getting a few bucks less per ounce, but having the cash in hand and having it all said and done? I think there are huge pros and cons to each of these, and it's certainly something worth considering. For my purposes, I have pieces in my stack, or collection if you will, that I would never want to be selling to a local coin shop because I know I wouldn't get the premium back on it. For those pieces, it would make sense to sit on them for a longer period of time, maybe post them on eBay or another forum, maybe try to sell them on Instagram or even on YouTube to some of you loyal viewers. But that is a lot of work. How much is your time worth? And how long have you spent actually establishing a reputation as a seller online? And do you even know people in person who you could sell to on an individual level? How quickly could you make that sale? These are all really important things to consider. Now, we all know that the American Silver Eagles have some absolutely mind-boggling premiums. In fact, the most common online sellers are coming in around 50 or 75% premium on these American Silver Eagles. That's like $13 or $16 over spot price per ounce. That means that right now, while spot price is around $22 on these American Silver Eagles, they're actually costing you $35 to get them in hand. That is a massive premium, and there's a reason for that. These are highly desirable. People really trust the American Silver Eagle, but at the same time, what is the likelihood that when the time comes to sell, you will actually be able to recoup that entire premium? Now, if you're able to sell these in wholesale, maybe in complete tubes to the right buyer, you might be able to get $8 over spot on the sale. But I think more often than not, if you're looking at what a local coin shop will buy it back for, you're probably in the range of $5 over, and that's if you're lucky. I don't know if you've seen some of these Silver Seeker videos where he calls up coin shops and asks them about the buyback prices on certain items, but there are a lot of places who wouldn't even be willing to pay you more than a couple bucks over spot for an American Silver Eagle. So we all kind of know the situation there. As for me, I'm kind of done stacking full tubes of American Silver Eagles. I kind of got that out of the way early on in my stacking journey. But what I am still doing is picking up American Silver Eagles that are considered cull, or that are just being sold at the same price as generic ounces at my local coin shop. So if you were to look at these, you'll find that some of them look pretty rough. You know, some of them are colorized. Many different years. I've got a 93 here, and you're gonna see it's kind of scratched, kind of tarnished or toned. To me, it's fine. The benefit of having an American Silver Eagle is the recognition of it. And although I know I'm not gonna get a great premium back on this if I were to sell it, certainly not at the same local coin shop, it's given me what I want, which is the recognition factor. That's a huge bonus from American Silver Eagles. So not terribly damaged, you know, maybe you could even dip these, make them look a little bit better. but that is the only kind of American Silver Eagle that I've been considering buying in the last couple years or so. Now, another thing that I've really pulled back on purchasing is junk silver. Yeah, I know we don't want to call it junk. Let's call it 90% constitutional silver. I love the stuff, particularly when you can dig through a bin and try to find some of the older coins, maybe some numismatics if you're lucky. I am personally a huge fan of constitutional silver. Now, that being said, for years and years and years, it has been considered junk. When you go to sell this stuff to a local coin shop, I mean, nowadays you might get a little bit over spot, but in general, you're going to be getting spot. But if you were to look online, it's often going for 50 or 60% premium. That's $6 to $12 per ounce over spot price. Now, I think there are a lot of good reasons to stack junk silver. And if you want to check that out, make sure to stick around at the end. You can see my junk silver for beginners video. But what makes me worried about junk silver is that we don't have a huge track record for it maintaining these high premiums over time. Now, we have seen the 90% constitutional silver and gold really have elevated premiums over the last year or so. But the real question is, will that continue forever? Will that silver premium last forever? I'm not confident enough to say that yet, and what I do know is that for me personally, at my local coin shop, the spread, which is the difference in the cost per ounce and what that same vendor would buy it back for, my spread is looking pretty rough. That means I'm $4 to $12 in the hole depending on where it's been bought. Or in the case of the American Silver Eagle, that puts us at around $10 in the hole right off of the bat. Maybe there's an arbitrage opportunity, maybe you know where you can buy and sell and make up the difference or something like that, but it just makes that bet so much harder. And here's the other thing, if the price of silver were to skyrocket, a lot of that advantage that you have of having a high premium item just goes out the window, because people will buy any silver simply at the melt weight, and so it doesn't matter if you have generic rounds or a 10-ounce bar or the American Silver Eagle or the junk silver. And so then the question becomes, well, why did you spend all that money on the premium in the first place? So now that we're talking about generic rounds, let's go ahead and look at those numbers. If you were to go to fine bullion prices and look around for those best silver deals, you would find that about 20 to 25% is the premium range that we're seeing, or $4 to $6 over spot for each ounce. Now, I'd imagine that you can get maybe a buck over in some local coin shops if you're going to sell these rounds right now. And so that puts the spread here very similar to the 10-ounce bar spread at around $3 to $5 per ounce. So here's another way to look at this. If you were to buy any silver item, if you bought this generic round at $4 per ounce over, so let's say spot's $22, you buy it at $26. If the local coin shop is going to buy it back from you at $1 over spot, then you would have to have a $3 movement in the spot price in order to just break even. That's why premiums matter so much when you are buying silver. Not just premium on the buy end, but on the sell end, obviously. Now, 10-ounce bars have historically been a really good deal because you can often get them fairly close to spot price, and you would often get spot price back when you go to sell. Now, in today's higher premium environment, what I've noticed is that a typical 10-ounce bar has about the same premium as the 1-ounce rounds do online. There is a little bit more convenience, let's say, to having a single 10-ounce bar as opposed to having 10 individual rounds. But then again, when you go to sell, you could sell these individually and you have to sell this all at once. So what do you value more? Maybe the ease of storage, or maybe because this is more fractional than a 10-ounce. These are all things that you have to consider. But let me go ahead and tell you that none of those are actually what I'm stacking. Now, if you want to look at the lowest possible premium options for silver, oftentimes you're going to see like world junk or something you could find below melt, or maybe really large increments of silver. So, 1,000-ounce bars, or more typically 100-ounce bars, which right now are running you a little bit more than 1 ounce of gold. And so what I found is that online, 100-ounce bars, even in the secondary market, are still going for about 10% or up to 15% premium. So in today's market, that's $2 or $3 per ounce. And when I talk to a local coin shops, they typically say they're not even going to pay you spot for a 100 ounce. There's just not as big of a market for people who are trying to buy those large amounts of silver at any given time, even with higher demand today than in years past. So that still puts you at a disadvantage with the spread. Oftentimes, money on these deals is made at the buy, not the sell. You have to keep that in mind. But there is a better option, and that's my secret weapon, the no-brainer stacker option, and that is the kilo bar. Because I can get it at 10% or very close premiums. Right now, my favorite bars are under $2.50 per ounce over premium. I've been really asking around to these local coin shop owners, how do you feel about kilo bars? I have had concerns, are they going to be more likely to pay me back of spot on the kilos? Are they going to treat it more similarly to the 100 ounces or the 10-ounce bars? And in many cases, people are saying that these kilo bars are actually becoming far more popular. Coin shop owners are more than willing to pay spot or potentially even a little bit over spot for the kilos because they are kind of a sweet spot right now. If a 10-ounce bar is running you $250 and a 100-ounce bar is running you $2,400, well, you can kind of get these in the $750 to $800 range. And so there are still plenty of buyers who are willing to pay for these 1 kilo bars. And that's why I think this is the sweet spot. I even asked T the Silver Stackers coin shop owner, Rich, and he said the exact same thing. It's kind of a sweet spot. People are starting to get more into these, and he'd be more than happy to pay equivalent prices to those of a 10-ounce bar. Now, before I go any further, let me just say I am not sponsored or affiliated with this vendor in any way, but I'm a huge fan and I like to buy from them all the time, and that is Monument Metals. Now, Monument Metals has fantastic deals all the time on these Germania mint bars. And if you haven't heard me talk about these bars before, where you been? I love these things. I've been talking about them for years. This is actually one of my first big videos, was talking about kind of losing my ass on a pre-sale of one of these. In fact, it was actually this one, because in the A series they were only 3 nines fine, but now they're all the way up to 4 nines fine in the B series. Other people that are talking about this, Campbell's Coins, Pistol Pack and Pilot, there are other people out there who are stacking these bars and who see all the benefits of it like I do. The main thing for me is that this is a high premium product at a low premium price. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's a cast bar. It's made by the Germania Mint, which is known to make fantastic rounds. They're out of Poland. And these bars right now are generally about $2.49 per ounce over spot. They feel great in the hand. They look absolutely fantastic. They come shrink wrapped in plastic in their own special boxes. They have serial numbers. They have holographic stickers. It is a really fantastic product, generally at a really great price. So Monument Metals has been my go-to here. You can find these fairly cheap in most places, but Monument Metals, for whatever reason, just has a deal that surpasses them all. And that's why the kilo bar in silver has been my go-to stacking option in 2022. And what's a stacking video without actually stacking? So let's go ahead and show you what these look like stacked up. I remember Silver Heist one time told me, you gotta have at least 2 to stack, right? Oh man, that's heavy. Now each kilo bar is 32.15 troy ounces. So as long as you remember that number, it should be fairly easy for you to make a sale. Obviously, any local coin shop owner is going to already understand that. It's a little bit cheesy, but recently Silver Dragons made a video about kilo bars, and he said the way he remembers is by acting like he's doing a countdown to a high five. So it's 3, 2, 1, high five. I guess I'm just curious, are you stacking kilo bars? Let me know in the comments below if you think that this is actually a good option. In fact, just the other day on Monument Metals, they had Perth kilos on pre-order for $1.99 over spot. If you're looking to do a long hold on some silver, it's really hard to imagine that being a bad deal in the long run. Let's say you did get paid $1 back of spot. Well, all you need is for the price to move $3 on spot in order to make your money back. And that's not a very tall order if you're actually planning on holding these in the long term. Quick intermission, here's what we're doing. One of you lucky viewers, in celebration of Silver Forever hitting 3,000 subscribers, is going to be getting one of these new 2022 high premium Beskar bars. I'm going to crack into this right now. I'm going to roll the random comment picker. I'm going to let you know who won right here in a second. All right, first look. Brand new 2022 Beskar bar, and the winner is all right, well, congratulations to you on your Beskar bar win. Don't forget to let me know if you are stacking kilo bars, and if you want to see a video that I've done about stacking silver bars for beginners, well, go ahead and check out this one right here for a quick lesson. And until next time, silver today, silver tomorrow, silver forever. Out.